What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, talking today about Google Stadia, and honestly, we're gonna be completely laughing at it because Google themselves is completely freaking out. They're actually mad at the gamers who bought their product. So basically what's been going on is, over the course of the last couple days, of course we saw the launch of Google Stadia, and I have to put that in quotes because pretty much everybody who really bought this service up front has been having huge amount of problems. A lot of people who purchased the Premier Edition didn't get it at launch. If you bought the Day 1 edition, maybe you didn't actually get it Day 1. But the worst thing is, a lot of people who pre-ordered this service got the controller, but not their codes. Meaning that they're able to look at this cool little device and technology, but they can't play any games. Google Stadia is such a giant dumpster fire, because pretty much no aspect of it works. But what I find really fascinating is, some people have now actually managed to get it completely up and running. They've hooked it up, their Google Stadia is overheating, apparently the little dongle thing is actually like catching fire basically behind your TV, but if you're managing to not burn your house down, and you've managed to put all the game codes into your cell phone so you can play them on your TV, congratulations, it's game time. But here is really where gamers are complaining the most. So a bunch of people decided to very open-mindedly go into Google Stadia. I've been digging into the Reddit a bunch to see what a bunch of like the hardcore fanboys would think about this, and a lot of people are saying that the idea of Google Stadia is really solid. In fact, they're saying that it's really interesting to play a console that really is the ultimate pick up and play. The second you are logged in, you can just start booting up any experience you've purchased. Now, each of the games is very overpriced. Even games that came out years and years ago are $60 each, which makes them a total ripoff. But say you manage to get past all of that, and you are enjoying the experiences for what they are, they've noticed that there is a giant lie at the heart of all this, and people are using the word lie to call out Google. So during their original stage presentation, the grand reveal of Google Stadia as a service, they kept saying again and again, up to 4K experiences. You're going to see 4K visuals. These things are going to be more powerful, and this is a direct quote. They kept saying that Google Stadia is going to be more powerful than the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 Pro combined. Now, this is a very important detail because it's a very mathematical number. It's them literally saying, we have these supercomputers, you have a strong computer, we can outdo it. Even if it's going all this distance, it will be a better experience than your home consoles. But guess what? That is super not the case. Even now, days later, the servers are trying to stabilize, it seems like, and people are having a huge amount of technical difficulties when it comes to feedback and resolution. Basically, when you're playing the game itself, there is still a lot of input delay. So if you're running around in a game and you're trying to duck and dodge, there's a good chance that you're going to die simply because you press the button and about a half second later, your character jumps. Imagine playing a super hardcore game that requires a lot of rhythm. Think about something like, just off the top of my head, Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man because it had a very rhythmic style of combat, of grabbing a missile, webbing an opponent, trying to just do a giant super attack to take down everybody around you. Imagine trying to play a game that's stylish on the Google Stadia with half a second of delay for every single button you push. But the key issue people are having is not just this latency, but in fact the visuals themselves, which people are beginning to test, and they've realized that they do not come anywhere close to the promised specs. Google was very clear to say again and again, up to 4K experiences. This is going to be the best looking games you've ever seen in a cool new fashion. Well, here's the thing, now that we've had a chance to test it and literally count the pixels, we've discovered that pretty much everything is running at 1080p, and a couple things actually run this interesting mix of 1080p upscaled to 4K, which means that really, this is basically just as powerful as your PlayStation 4 Pro and your Xbox One X, meaning that they did, in fact, lie. Thousands and thousands of people now are coming up to directly say, we bought this product, you completely false advertised it. We are the people who are now beta testing an unfinished service. We spent money for a promise that you're not willing to fulfill. And Google is not happy about it. In fact, they're going full on rage mode. Now I'm going to read you their official reply because it is so so awful. Not only did they actually say that gamers suck, they call out to game developers. Okay, now brace yourself and buckle up for easily one of the worst public freaking corporate responses I have ever seen in my life. So here's the reply that's being given by Google to the games journalists whenever they actually bring up any of the problems that fans are directly having with Google Stadia. Stadia streams at 4K and 60 frames a second, and that includes all of our aspects from graphics pipeline from the game to screen. GPU, encoder, and Chromecast Ultra are all outputting at 4K to 4K TVs, and with the appropriate internet connection, developers making Stadia games work hard to deliver the best streaming experience for every game. Like you see on all platforms, this includes a variety of techniques to achieve the best overall quality. We give game developers the freedom and how to achieve the best quality images and frame rate on Stadia, and we're impressed with what they've been able to achieve day one. We expect that many developers, in most cases, will continue to improve their games on Stadia, and because Stadia lives in our data centers, developers are able to innovate quickly while delivering even better experiences directly to you without the need for game patches or downloads. Okay, so let's just break that down, because wowzers, is that some omega cringe stuff. First and foremost, they're basically saying, even if you have the best connection you can possibly imagine, you are hardwired directly into the most beautiful, pristine connection on the planet, you are just shoving your Ethernet cable right into Google Fiber, there's still a chance that it might not be perfect, because it's all about how you're connecting to the internet. It's about the idea of your connection, and making sure that each step in the chain, from the wiring to the making sure that your Chromecast Ultra doesn't overheat, because again, apparently these things are practically melting, they're saying that it's still your problem if it's not the correct resolution, which apparently doesn't even exist. But the funniest thing of all is that they're taking the game developers and throwing them under the bus. Literally the people who are supporting your completely garbage service. Imagine if some freaking person, like a schoolmate, decides to let you copy off his homework and you're trying to take down some tests and you start insulting his handwriting when that dude is helping you out. That dude is going out on a limb to save your ass. These game developers are gambling on Google Stadia. I don't think it's cheap. Like, I'm genuinely impressed about the fact that they managed to put Destiny on there, because clearly there was some major things going on behind the scenes to get it where Bungie could even get this weird crappy service to stream such a giant game like Destiny, and yet the first thing they do is go, well, you know what, these games may suck because the game developers suck. Our service is perfect. We know what we're doing. Google Stadia is the future, bro. Google Stadia is the future. It's not. And I'm actually laughing my ass off right now because I've been going to the Reddit. Everybody is so upset because the service just doesn't operate. But more than it not operating, this is just unfulfilled promises. You said that this would be the future. You said that this is going to be able to possibly replace consoles in a couple of years, and this thing, I wouldn't trust it at all. If you played Google Stadia, or you're like one of the 10 people who paid for it, you guys got screwed, and I think you should definitely, if you can, try and get a refund. Take your money back. These people are not spending it on anything that's actually worth doing. I am just so baffled that anybody who thought this would work. I'm not even actually insulting the fans. I want to make that clear. There are these weird Twitter accounts that are popping up that are called like the Ultimate Stadia Fan. I can't tell if they're trolls or serious, but a lot of them are like, screw the haters, Stadia is the best. And I just want to say, you guys, you're not Google employees. You don't have to do this. Don't defend a bad product because it doesn't deserve to be defended. Okay, well, my AC accidentally turned on because I forgot to turn it off before I filmed, and you may hear that. But thank you so much for watching this video, gamers. Do me a giant favor, give this video a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Hey Stadia, I'll actually make a deal with you, Google. If you send me a Stadia and like a game or whatever, I'll make a video on it. I'll sit down and I will film my live reaction just testing it out. I have a very good internet connection, and apparently you need to have the best internet connection of all time, but I'll give it a try. And if it's great, I'll fully admit that I was wrong. But as it stands, it seems like this is a service that even you are ready to abandon. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.